I'm Adrian and welcome to Fight Scene Breakdown. Today we're going to take a look at one of the most amazing Batman fight scenes ever put to film, Batman vs. Luthor's Henchman. In this fight scene, we finally get to see Batman as the unstoppable martial artist we've seen in the Arkham games and the comics. It begins by him being dropped off on the second floor. This turns out to be a key point to his strategy as it enables him to blast in, surprising the enemies with the explosion. And in a brilliant move, he fires a contraption that effectively nullifies several of the guns, leaving him open to mow down the enemies with quick and brutal techniques. I don't have the full fight scene yet as that has not been released, but let's take a look at what we do have available. Firstly, using the assault rifle as leverage, he lifts the thug up into the air and smashes him onto the ground. In the next sequence, we have Batman using a gun to strike the thug in the head, effectively incapacitating him, and he follows this up by striking at the solar plexus of the next thug, causing him to keel over. Using the momentum from the previous move, he disarms the next guy with his elbow, and of course strikes said guy with the elbow, a very powerful technique frequently used in Muay Thai. Next up, he employs a cornerstone philosophy of judo, where one uses the force of an opponent against him. In this case, he takes the momentum of the rushing attack and deflects it in a way which causes the thug to simply fly over him and smash against the wall. Knives come out, which usually signal desperation in a cinematic fight, but they are meaningless to Batman. He simply glides over to one of the men with the knife and uses the momentum of his long jump to smash the man into a box. And in the following small sequence, we see why he really is the one and only Batman, as he will be fighting 4 opponents at the same time. He begins by striking the man to his right in the gut, temporarily stunning him, following up with a further strike to the gut to the man on his left. As he turns back to hit the first man with a swift open palm strike to the neck, a third man strikes at him from behind with the second knife. But the cowl on Batman's head is equipped with a titanium understructure, effectively causing the knife to harmlessly slide off the cowl. With this extra time, Batman strikes at 2 men at the same time in the head. He then proceeds to throw one of the men remaining against the wall and finishes off the sole remaining thug with a solid right hook, further strengthened by torquing his body, sending the man's head careening against the floor. Acting in contrast to the one-take nightmare fight sequence, this thug sequence is rapidly cut and shot in a style that incorporates shaky cam elements, but for the most part remains comprehensible. More often than not, Batman's moves in his previous films are completely obscured by rapid cutting, most easily exemplified in Batman Begins. But this warehouse fight scene is shot in a way where the viewer can follow and understand how the foes are being dispatched. The handheld style sometimes gets in the way, but thankfully it is cut with no random extreme close-ups of feet or fists, which are easy shortcuts to mask bad choreography. The editing is overall very good, cutting in order to sell a hit or to set up the next sequence of bad guys, but I do feel that it sometimes felt a little overcut. I don't have the full scene, but I do remember feeling somewhat disoriented in certain parts of the fight. This was probably due to the constraints of having to perform advanced martial arts techniques in such a bulky suit, something that is not easy to do for any performer, so it is understandable if every move didn't come out perfectly and needed some editing to punch it up. In this pivotal scene, Batman needs to rescue a very important hostage. The stakes were set very clearly and we knew exactly why Batman had to quickly dispatch the thugs, and what his goal in the fight was. We also had a very clear resolution to the fight, with him taking out every single man in the warehouse and rescuing said hostage. Overall, this was an extremely well executed fight scene with excellent choreography. What did you think of the fight? Which fight would you like to see me analyze next? Let me know in the comments below and subscribe so you can be notified when the next episode premieres. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Godzillarex. See you next time.